Why can't he be married? Why can't Marion go on adventures with him?
Look, screw his marriage. Why does this film even have to exist? Just why? Why does this have to
It's
make money?
because
It clearly has to make money.
it's the late 60s and they want to like have Marion be part of the whole like feminist movement when divorce was going rampant. That's exactly what it is. Like
Yeah,
1969 New York
that's a
City. That's the
memory we
whole
want
point
to
of this.
relive in American history.
That's the whole point. It's the
You know
whole
why they
feminist
got
message right there.
divorced, right?
Yeah, they're saying that it's because their son dies.
Yeah,
in
Mutt.
Vietnam.
Shia LaBeouf died.
Yeah, they killed him off screen.
I heard he got into a bar fight and lost.
Drew is here. He says, I'm engaged, bro. Sometime next year I'm going to be married. Congratulations. That's awesome news. Fantastic.
Congratulations, Drew.
You hopefully going through all the pre-Cana stuff through the church. Good stuff there. You learn a lot about each other. I highly recommend it.
Word of advice: stay away from archaeology.
Yeah, unless you want your kid to die.
Twilight here in the chat. Hail Twilight.
Your kid's either going to die or he's going to do like a really bad Transformers movie. There's no in between.
Yeah, DZ3 says, as especially their age, like we're thinking too much about this. Indiana Jones is a fictional character. He went through a lot of trials and tribulations with Marion. He eventually realized that he needed to marry her, settle down, and that's how he should have stayed with that and gone through the tough times with her, and also gone through a lot of good times. And that's what should have happened. And taking that away is just more Disney demoralization, garbage, trying to promote the destruction of the family.
And they've already done the same thing with Han Solo. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's literally, they're not even creative, not being creative. 7 years
I 100%
ago,
think this is just another piece like that. That's the whole reason for this. It has nothing to do with like this is the character's natural evolution. Absolutely not. 100% agenda. 100% encouraging divorce and the splitting up of families.
Remember last year when Ric Flair decided to come out of retirement and have his quote-unquote last match, and he went out there looking like a 73-year-old man who almost died because he tried to have a match at 73. This is what it feels like. Well, no, he almost died because he was 73 years old, ran out of breath because he was trying to do a match at elderly age. Yeah, it wasn't a good sight to behold. But this is what I feel like every time I watch like a modern Harrison Ford movie, whatever he's trying to recreate one of his characters from the past.
He got injured on this set early on in shooting, and they had to delay it like 4 months or something like that.
Oh yeah,
he got injured doing some kind of stunt.
Probably fell. That's how old he is. He probably just fell and he was out for like 6 months.
Yeah, they're out here trying to like sell him as an action hero, and it's like, dude, we remember him getting injured on set and they stopped shooting for 4 months, and they need to bring in like body doubles to try and keep the costs down because you couldn't just keep the entire like the crews on hold.
When you're at the age where a bad fall can kill you, you probably should stop being an action star at that point. That's the sign that it's over.
Yeah. I think there's something to the effect where Indiana Jones would have maybe trained up a protege, and he would have been like old Bruce Wayne in Batman Beyond, where he's not out there going on the adventures. He's got Terry doing it for him, and he's working on training him or something like that. He's basically at the Obi-Wan Kenobi stage where he's training someone else to kind of like take up all the adventuring that he does, which they had in the fourth one, which was his son.
What would have
as much as people like want to hate on that, at least they had that kind of built up. But again, I think there's something to say where like you can just end it with him riding off into the sunset.
What would have been the problem?
Was I stealing your thunder there, Cider?
Well, no, I just wanted to ask, like, what would have been the problem with the three of them, Marion, Mutt, and Indy, doing this one last ride for Indy thing, where the actual passing of the torch happens, where Indy has to acknowledge he's 80 freaking years old, you know, and he's not going to be able to keep plunging into caves much longer. And so you have him actually pass the torch to Mutt, and Mutt actually has to solve a riddle on his own, maybe with a little guidance from Indy to demonstrate that he can take it on, then you rebrand and you go Mutt Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And you keep doing this thing with the franchise, but you let Indy go. You let him like have relief, an end, a closure. Let him.
Yeah, or you make him Bond.
Like,
you just keep telling Indiana Jones adventure stories set in like the 30s, 40s, and maybe 50s.
Well, you know, I see like what is it? The Incredibles. I see that kind of family movie playing out with the Jones family. That could have very easily happened for them, and Mutt getting the torch and carrying on. It would have worked a lot better. But now they're just gonna, wait till you get to
you could have done something like in The Mask of Zorro, where Antonio Banderas is being trained. Antonio Banderas. Yeah, he's being trained by
Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins. You could have done something like that. So like you're talking about with Mutt being tested, you have Indy kind of like running him through all of these. He's being trained not only like physically in like the cave snares and stuff like that, because you could get member berries there too. Maybe he recreates the rock rolling or something like that. I know that might be too jangling, two member berries, but you could have done something like that where he's actually being trained through like an obstacle course or something like that. Like what is the Ninja Warrior? That was like one of the big things I watched before. Was the ninja like the old ninja, or they actually would go to Japan and stuff like that?
That's a great
and climb Mount Midoriyama,
scene, right? You got a great scene. You got Mutt almost not making it there, and him looking at Jones and saying, "You didn't have to do this. Why are you doing this to me?" And he said, "I didn't learn how to do this, and that's why I almost died. Reset the track."
Right. Yeah, I think so. I agree with Volume Dealer here, but so this is the last Indiana Jones film that you would do with this, and then you'd have to like tell other Indiana Jones story, and then you just recast Indiana Jones. But I don't think you would have Mutt Jones as his own movies. I agree. I don't think that he would sell.
That.
Yeah,
but I do like the final film with Indy training him. I think that could work.
Yeah, so you said about the James Bond movies, right? Like, because it really, there wasn't really like a timeline until Casino Royale, and that was like what 30, 40 years after the first Indiana Jones movie, James Bond movie, with Daniel Craig movies in Casino Royale, right? So that's the one thing. That's the first reboot that we saw with the
they tried to
James
tell
Bond, right? So they could have done the same thing, right? And yes, and it's probably. And they could have done the same thing with Indiana Jones, right? So they have like this thing, but because the actor is still alive, and MGM was not casting Sean Connery to be James Bond when he was like in his 60s or 70s or 80s, right? So that's the one thing that I feel like Lucasfilm could have handled a little bit better. Like I know they wouldn't have because it's owned by Disney now. But at first it was like, yes, you could do that, and you could literally introduce like a new Indiana Jones played by another character, by another actor, and you could like literally have like this franchise that you could still keep milking, without obviously disrespecting the character. But no, they just decided to disrespect the character anyway and do a fifth movie.
Twilight asks, why not just use a similar concept, new original character? I think they tried that. You have the Uncharted film which was horribly cast. As much as I like Mark Wahlberg, he should never have been cast as Sully. He should have turned down that role. Not bad casting there. And then Tom Holland, there's absolutely no way Tom Holland should have played Nathan Drake. So I was pretty much out with the casting.
Am I the only one who can't take Tom? Am I the only one who can't take Tom Holland seriously as an actor? Like just in general?
I think the only
I don't even like him as Spider-Man.
Is Spider-Man.
Like I'll be fair to him. Like the last movie, No Way Home, that was like the first movie in the 9 appearances he's made so far where I actually kind of believed him as Spider-Man. Like it took
Civil War. His appearance in Civil War was good.
Yeah, it literally took like
probably the best one.
It literally took like to like the third act of that film to be like, okay, I can finally see him as Spider-Man now.
Yeah, I don't like him as Spider-Man. I haven't seen No Way Home, but I watched. I've seen Homecoming and Far From Home, and Tobey Maguire does a better job as Peter Parker
Yeah.
And
then his entire personality now is basically, oh yeah, my girlfriend is like 5 inches taller than me. So
yeah, he's supposed to be kind of like there's like in the first Spider-Man film, there's the scene where he's getting bullied by I can't remember his name right now. Spencer probably knows it. He's getting bullied by I can't remember his name, but he's getting bullied, and then obviously when he gets the Spider-Man powers, he fights back against the bully. But I like that scene where he's getting bullied because like I feel like that's kind of quintessential Peter Parker. You go back and you look at some of the old Spider-Man comics, and he is kind of getting pushed around a little bit, even when he's got the Spider-Man abilities. What's his name is still trying to like give him a hard time. Flash Thompson, yeah, that's it. Flash Thompson is still trying to give him a hard time and stuff like that, quite a bit. So I thought that was more believable. I don't feel like we ever got to see that. Tom Holland has never, they never showed that with his stuff. I guess they tried to have Flash bully him a little bit by blackmailing him or whatever, but I don't know. That just seemed ridiculous in Far From Home.
Yeah, absolutely not.
But back to Twilight's question here. They've also done it with Tomb Raider. I think it worked a little bit with Angelina Jolie. Obviously, it was a little bit over the top, but they got a couple films out of that. I don't think I've seen the Alicia Vikander one. I don't think it did all that well.
I mean, the problem with Tomb Raider is that they've butchered Lara Croft's appearance for like the last 20 years now, to the point where does anybody really want to see a Tomb Raider movie at this point?
They've completely redesigned her and they built her after like Alicia Vikander instead of looking more like I think Angelina Jolie actually did a pretty good job of bringing that look to live action.
Yeah,
from the video games.
No, just the movies weren't that good.
But yeah, we've seen similar concepts like it, and I don't know if they've actually done as well as Indiana Jones. And I think there's something about Indiana Jones that George Lucas and Steven Spielberg brought their magic to.
Yeah, he can't recreate it, but I don't think they were even trying to recreate it at this point. I think they're just hacks.
All right, let's bring back the leaks. Did we get rid of that whole thing? There it is. Okay. All right, so they're divorced. Crap. Terrible. No one wants to see that.
Well, we can't have that one couple that just makes it. I mean, I don't know. Does she think that she's gonna level up in her 70s? It's like, what's the even fundamental point of doing this?
This is what we get.
This one, I think this is even worse. So, like, not only is Indy a nihilistic loser, but he can't even come to the decision himself. He can't even make the right decision himself to return to the present. He has to get he has to be incapacitated by a woman and like dragged back to the present. Like, it's absolutely, utterly disgusting, pathetic garbage.
Yeah.
I think Civil War is when he smooches with Agent 13.
Yeah, that's
gets even dumber. Oh. Look, Archimedes is riding along on this Bill and Ted's excellent adventure, gentlemen. We have Archimedes as the fifth wheel.
Is it the owl from Sword in the Stone?
By the way, Sider, you might as well just stay on the show. I mean, we were trying to replace Spencer for a while anyway, so we got a good excuse to write him off.
I don't have a camera tonight.
You've got the Kabuto. Kabuto. No, you've got the.
It's like a soap opera when like one of the actors gets sick for a couple of weeks. They tell you the role of Spencer Piccoli has been replaced by.
Spencer's in a coma this week.
Yeah.
Snake says here Captain America going back to be with Peggy means that Peggy's family never. Well, who knows? That maybe that's why she's evil now in Captain America and Falcon or whatever that Falcon in the Winter Soldier.
Oh yeah, but that was awful. Yeah.
Yeah, where they.
It was after the blip.
13, the crime broker or whatever.
Yeah, I think the power broker, but I think the explanation is literally, well, everybody disappeared for like 5 years. I didn't know what to do, so
I think
like,
they just I think they just aped that from Mass Effect, and they were like, we're gonna make her Liara, who becomes the Shadow Broker, but we have our character, the Power Broker, and we're just gonna do that. I 100% believe that that's what they did.
Like, I don't know. It was terrible anyway. So.
It was so bad. Anyway, so this is Cider says Archimedes, who just saw the corpse of Valar horribly burned, his face can be recognized. That sounds like a member berry as well from Raiders of the Lost Ark. I hope they do the melting. That would actually be cool. Maybe not. I don't know. They probably butchered the CGI. And his watch and took the complete dial from him. Come to meet Indy and Helena. Indy talks to him in Greek. Helena tell him.
You're kidding me. He got old Harrison Ford talking in Greek.
Sure, why not?
It does seem kind of comical.
Like I hope he's in a toga.
Sharon is Peggy's niece, not granddaughter. Okay, thank you.
I desperately want Archimedes to be in like a toga, like full on party Greek guy costume.
Toga.
As Helena tells him that Archimedes has rigged the dial and making sure it only sends back to Syracuse on the day of the siege so that they could save him, we understand it's thanks to this jump in time that he found his knowledge about watches and on how to complete the dial. What? See, we're already in stupid land
Paradox.
here, where he's now. The only way he was able to create a dial was because he jumped in time to figure out how to make a watch. And so he's the one who made watches, but he figured out how to make watches in the future. Like, stop. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't work that way. Like, no, please stop.
Yeah, these people, they're so screwed. Like, this whole thing is so cursed.
Tehillim says Helena sounds like the serpent in the garden, making a promise she can't keep. Interestingly enough, in that Fandango interview, Phoebe Waller-Bridge describes herself as a deceiver. Her character.
Oh yeah, that's not ominous.
Yeah.
Thanks, I hate it.
Like, that's how she describes her character. Maybe I should write an article about that. I'm definitely going to cover this because this is absolute dog crap. Like, this is so bad. I hate this ending here. It's the ending is so bad, and then kind of this epilogue here is even worse.
This entire leak plot is like literally the "please say psych" meme, like realized in real time.
Yeah, they took this to Con, man. They're promoting this for over a month. They thought that
to be fair,
seeing this would get more people to go see it a month later.
To be fair, Khan is known for being a bunch of pretentious buttholes. Let's be really honest. Like they'll give a 9-minute standing ovation to anything. They have no standards.
Well, right, sure, but that's what I'm saying. Like, they took this to that festival to show it to people a month in advance, thinking that like this was going to build up hype for the movie. And I think this is just turning people off. Like, I don't think it's building up hype at all. It's just like all the worst fears combined. I think this is absolutely awful for James Mangold too, because he actually has a really good filmography. I think I like a lot of his movies.
He had a good one until he did this.
Yeah,
movie.
That's what I'm saying.